Hey, welcome to my channel uh, of Green Buddhism. Uh, so today I wanted to talk about the three paths. There's three paths in Buddhism as well as in the Law of One. And I like to merge the ancient knowledge of Buddhism with the new knowledge that we have coming together from science and channeling and other sources. So there's I like to call them by simple names, the easy path, the selfish path, and the generous path. In Buddhism, those are respectively the path of the listener, the solitary path, and the bodhisattva, which is kind of the path of the teacher. And in the Law of One, those are called, well, there's not really a name for it. For the easy path, it's more of a kind of a failure to ascend. And then the solitary or the selfish path is STS, or service to self, where basically it's where a person does 95% of things for themselves and not for anyone else, and they do not use the heart chakra. They do not apply compassion in any way, shape, or form because they're just out for themselves. So that's the selfish path. And then there's the generous path, which in the Law of One is the service to others. And it's where you give at least 51% of what you do for the benefit of others. And that allows one to ascend to a generous planet. So, for instance, right now, Earth, according to Ron, the Law of One material, has already uh, polarized towards the generous path. And so it's an early stages generous planet. But we still have a lot of people, actually, the majority of people, as far as was the consensus in the 1980s, were on the easy path. That means that they were between 50 and 95% selfish. They're mostly looking out for themselves, but sometimes they do something for someone else, They're just not really sure. And so most of those people, uh, at the end of their lifetime, if they have not chosen one of either the selfish or the generous path, they will most likely find another planet in their next incarnation that has an opportunity for them to continue on the easy path of, indecisiveness and not being really sure and having lots of options. Like, they will most likely reincarnate on another planet that has a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, and that will continue for maybe 70,000 years, or 75,000 years is how long a cycle is. Now, they don't have to, that doesn't mean that, like, if you're choosing the easy path now, that you're going to definitely have to spend 75,000 years somewhere else. Like, I mean, if you're already, like, pretty sure that, you want to be on the selfish path or you want to be on the generous path, then, uh, you know, and you just don't make it this lifetime and you go to another one of these planets, you can continue your learnings there. And if you polarize to the generous path, then you'll be able to come back to Earth within, 100 to 200 years. Uh, maybe 300. Who knows how long it will take exactly. Um, Assuming there isn't some kind of major cataclysm, the Earth should finish polarizing towards the generous path, and then we will have a very kind planet where, you know, people are helping each other. Because that's what being on the generous path is all about. And so the people on the selfish path will be able to go to a planet where pretty much everyone is selfish and also only in it for themselves. And they'll be able to continue to climb social ladders for millions of years if they wish. And they could do all of the kind of unvirtuous actions that they wish to do. And I'd like to stress that it's not like some kind of hell realm. It's just, it's just this selfish planet. It's kind of like it's where the reptilians live, and some greys and things like that. But for instance, you know how the reptilians are. Maybe they do lots of fighting and they're carnivorous. Um, and some generous planets would be well, maybe some Nordic extraterrestrials or the Arcturians, which is a different kind of gray, a positive kind of gray, or Earth in the future. So, kind of the Earth I envision on the generous path would be after, say, for instance, we all have a basic income, and instead of, wasting lots of resources, everyone's probably going to have to accept kind of a simple lifestyle. Uh, like you can see, I'm in a hammock right now, though this is kind of my sleeping area in the daytime, anyways. Anyways, but we can still live a very happy life, even if we all share. And there's just the fresh air and the beautiful sunlight and the water, and you can hear I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but there's the light pattering of rain. It was snowing earlier today. Yeah, it was nice. All right. So I guess that's enough for my first video on this. And so think about it. The three paths. Which one do you like? The easy path of indecisiveness, the selfish path of pure self-dedication, heartless self-dedication, and the third is the generous path, which is the compassionate path that uses the heart chakra a lot. So if you want to go on the generous path, one thing that you'd like to do is whenever you're making a decision, you can ask your heart if that's the right decision for you. And for the selfish path, they would they would not include that. They would just be like kind of they would only be looking at if it satisfies some kind of primal urge, you know. And the indecisive people, well, they're just figuring stuff out. So and as a bodhisattva myself, I have compassion for all beings. So for me, it doesn't matter which path you take, but if I can help you in any way along the path, I am happy to do so. Thank you. Namaste.